Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very much for having me here in your virtual conference. I'd much rather I was there in person. I think we all would, but we will be soon. I hope. So yeah, as introed, my name is Kerry Hallard, and I'm actually joining you from Esher, just on the outskirts of London. So basically, what happened was absolutely phenomenal. Is the way that our industry responded to the pandemic. It was the partnerships and the delivery teams all around the world that didn't just keep the lights on for organisations, they absolutely kept the wheels turning. And what we saw is there was a huge growth in trust between partnerships and teams around the world as they worked and put out all the stops to ensure that, you know, these business services continue to be delivered. So our industry in the past has been an industry that's been castigated. You know, we were called the National Outsourcing Association, as Zane introduced, and then we rebranded to Global Sourcing Association. One, because our industry is very global in its nature, but two, because the word outsourcing has got such negative connotations, largely driven by, sadly, the British government's use of outsourcing and portrayal of outsourcing, and also the British media's understanding of and portrayal of outsourcing. And that was that outsourcing was really all about cutting costs and lowering service levels and sending British jobs overseas. Now, we know, all of us working in this industry, that it's much more about global technology and business services driving innovation, driving transformation, giving value to businesses around the world. And when the pandemic struck and when partnerships blossomed and we really showed really quick transformations, we saw this as being an opportunity for us to applaud an industry that is too often castigated, and to also set the language really clearly about what this industry is all about. But of course, it wasn't something that happened just within the UK. This was something that was happening around the world. The way that teams mobilised globally was phenomenal. So we wanted to give an industry global response to a global response to how the industry responded to the pandemic. So we reached out to industry associations around the world and just sort of discussed the opportunity of, you know, portraying a global vision for our industry. And that's when we launched the Global Technology and Business Services Council. So next slide, please. So we launched the council in July 2020. If you want any information on it, you can go to GT&BSC.org. That's our website. Next slide, please. And it is, as they introduced, it's a very unique alliance of the leading industry associations for global technology and business services around the world. I'm not going to name all of those, but we've got reach from Latin America to Malaysia, to Egypt, to the United States, across Europe. And of course, we were absolutely delighted to have BPESA come on board and be our partner representative for South Africa. So next slide, please. So the Global Technology and Business Services Council was launched with a number of objectives, but in the main is we wanted to work on a global vision for the industry so that we could promote the industry with one global view of best practice so that we could advance industry growth and professionalise the industry and drive opportunities for those working in the industry, and share the challenges, the opportunities and the thought leadership for the industry. And where needed, also to do some government lobbying if we needed to drive you know, bodies of change for the industry. Next slide, please. So what we've done so far is we've launched with an industry code of conduct, which we believe is the best practice that our industry should be governed by. We set out a vision for the future of the industry and a view on the growth and opportunity for the industry. We then launched a series, which is a series of global events held on a virtual stage. And the subjects that we've addressed so far have been the rise of gig workers and the opportunities of open talent, whatever language that you like to use. But obviously I see and I believe that open talent is probably going to be the biggest game changer for our industry since the advent of offshoring. We also looked at the subject of responsible automation. You know, automation is here to stay. We need to embrace automation, but we really need to be mindful of the impact automation is going to have on certain professions. And where those professions are going to be automated, we need to responsibly ensure that people in those professions are reskilled. And we see this has been a really important global topic. Also, the topic of impact sourcing. You know, impact sourcing is incredibly, incredibly important, but not well enough defined globally and not well enough adopted. So we ran a global forum looking at the importance of impact sourcing. We're running a survey to understand the adoption, and we want to present and measure metrics that show impact sourcing is being adopted more and more around the world. So that's what we've done so far, but now I want to take a little look to what we see coming down in the future. So next year, the GSA celebrates its 35th anniversary. So we have been doing what we do, promoting best practice in strategic sourcing for 35 years. And I can honestly say, I think we've seen more change in this industry in the last 12 months than we've probably seen in all of those 35 years. So right now in the UK, everybody is absolutely bonkers busy in this industry. The industry is going through unprecedented growth, and I think we're facing the biggest economic boom the industry has ever faced. So incredibly exciting, huge, huge opportunity and a great platform for growth. But obviously with opportunity come challenges. So if you could move to the next slide, please. So yeah, with those challenges, I think the biggest, right, these are all the challenges we're facing. These are the things that we're going to be discussing across the GSA and the GT&BSC through 2022. But I'm not going to pick out all of these. You can learn more about these by registering to any of the events that we're doing as part of our virtual symposium, free of charge for anyone to come to. So go onto our website and register, and you'll learn a lot about these subjects. But the biggest challenge right now is the war on talent. So in the UK, I know that we have over 1 million unfilled roles, and those roles can be anything from lorry drivers through to chefs. But there are a lot of unfilled roles in global technology and business services. So call centres, lots of unfilled roles there, and a huge deficit in the number of technology roles we're able to fill. So as much as everybody and all talk is always technology, for some reason in the UK, we have 25% less students studying technology related subjects this year than we did 2 years ago. So that is just going to exacerbate the issue and the shortage of talent we actually have. So yeah, biggest challenge is the war on talent. Attrition is high, going up to almost 30% in some organisations, which is just staggering. And salaries are increasing. And this isn't just in the UK. We know from our partners. So, for example, we get a lot of our software development work done in Poland. In Poland, software engineers' salaries have increased by 35% this year alone. So we are struggling to find the talent and to be able to afford the digital transformations that our member companies want to and so desperately need to embark upon. And that is causing, a real pain point in, inflation. Inflation's already gone on up, and we're going to see this continue to go on up if we don't find some solution to the talent shortage. The other major change that we're seeing is a requirement to change both global operating models and global delivery models. So we're seeing our membership organisations look to actually widen their global footprint as they work to build resilience into their businesses post-pandemic and work to mitigate risk. So I know that they're actively looking right now for different delivery destinations that they can work with. So yeah, those are the main challenges we're facing. And if we look at what we're going to try and do to address that for the industry globally, and next and final slide, please. This is the programme we're looking to undertake across the Global Technology and Business Services Council in 2022. So talent being really key. We are working on attracting new talent into the industry globally, working to a framework for standard competencies and capabilities for the professionals in our industry across the globe. We have been reinventing wheels on a national basis, and we need to consolidate that and have one global view of competencies and capabilities. But most importantly, I believe we need to come to a solution where we can better balance the global supply and demand of talent. We need access to talent. I know South Africa has that talent in abundance, and we need to somehow work out how we can better balance that. So one of the first things that we're doing across the council is to be publishing a global heat map that gives a view of where the talent and capabilities currently reside. And obviously South Africa has that. But what we'd ideally like to do is look at finding a way of building a global platform for better sharing the talent across our global industry. At the same time, we'll be looking at developing standards for those individuals that want to run individual careers. They want to work in the open talent marketplace, and we need to make sure that we put policies and procedures and practice in place to protect them, ensure they're not taken advantage of. Second key area is obviously sustainability. COP26 has just finished, and it's ensured that sustainability is a huge subject area on government's agendas, but it's absolutely core to every company, every board agenda right now. And I think we as a global industry need to work towards our industry globally becoming net zero in advance of 2030. And because our industry is a people-centric industry, I think we need to have different metrics in our own sort of ESG ratings. So I think we should be looking at, yes, certainly our carbon footprints and ensuring that our data centres are as green as possible, but we need to be building in the softer metrics that again plays back to the importance of having good supplier diversity across our supply chains, excellent practices towards inclusion and diversity within our employee management, but then also showing that and demonstrating that we are automating responsibly, reskilling, and have really clear and proper programs of impact sourcing. So these are some of the things that so we're going to be working on, in addition to constantly promoting one global unified view of best practice and carrying on promoting, all the different sort of all the different hot topics. And then with the technology agenda, technology is going to carry on being adopted at speed. We need to make sure it's adopted ethically. We need to ensure that there's a global view on the ethics of the use of artificial intelligence and intelligent automation. So we're looking at subjects like that. We're looking at the subject of digital standards, and we're also looking at the subject of how do we better manage cross-border data flow. So there's a lot to think about. There's a lot going on, and we want to hear everybody else's views of what else we could do. But just to close, I just wanted to say that, the industry is at a turning point. The industry is on a platform of a positive trajectory of growth. And I think there's a huge opportunity for South Africa here. We in the UK, we absolutely love South Africa's sense of humour, the South Africa accent, and you know, we've got, I know, a number of really, really strong proven examples and case studies of brilliant work being delivered back to the UK. I just think we need to raise the profile a little bit further, and hopefully some of the work that we're doing across the Global Technology and Business Services Council will further raise the profile. So that's all I had to say, but please do get in touch with me at any point and do join any of the works, the events that GT&BSC or GSA is running.